Hey guys, this is Ori from What Culture, and I'm here to talk to you about regret. We've all made a decision that we look back upon ourselves afterwards and go, what the hell was I thinking? Now I'm stuck in traffic on the way to an airport just to drop my friend off for a holiday I'm not going on. Boy, do I regret this decision. But it's not about me. Let's talk about actors who leave their popular TV shows behind for numerous reasons. Whether it be a veteran actor wanting to spend more time with their kids after several seasons of work, or a young star dreaming big of Hollywood roles, actors can make what they believe to be informed decisions at the time they pursue other options, only to end up regretting it in the end. That's because sometimes those future prospects don't always work out the way they hoped. And instead, actors live to regret leaving behind what sometimes ends up being their most acclaimed role. The fear of typecasting is a real threat in Hollywood, and many of these actors were never quite able to shake the shell of the acclaimed role they quit. Still, it could take many years of trying to break out before they sit down with an interviewer and admit their regret at leaving their show behind. Of course, some of these actors have still gone on to achieve great things in film and television, and in rare cases have managed to completely reinvent themselves separate from their popular shows. But often these attempts crash and burn, and they have all one thing in common: their informed decisions ended up not being as informed as they believed them to be. We at What Culture don't judge every bad decision, but let's take a look at 8 actors who regretted quitting popular TV shows. Number 8. Christopher Eccleston, Doctor Who. When Doctor Who restarted back in 2005, it was already announced that its titular star, Christopher Eccleston, would only be in the role for a single season. Considering the Doctor is one of the most coveted roles in British television history, and actors have gone as long as 7 seasons on the show, this came as quite the surprise. To this day, Eccleston is the only actor to hand in his sonic screwdriver after only 1 season, discounting Paul McGann. And the reasons behind his regretful departure were kept secret for a long time. Back in 2005, less than a week after the series premiere, the BBC released a statement that Eccleston had left the role out of fear of being typecast, insinuating an individual and egotistical reason as the sole culprit. However, it's only the last couple of years that Eccleston has revealed what truly happened behind the scenes, citing a falling out with the senior creative team, including the showrunner Russell T Davies, as his reason for leaving. Eccleston told Radio Times that the relationship broke down early in the filming process and never recovered, leading to a fractured sense of trust between the collaborators. He expressed his regret at leaving so soon in 2016, stating, "It was kind of tragic for me that I didn't play him for longer. He's a beautiful character and I have a great deal of professional pride. And had I done a second season, there would have been a marked improvement in my performance." Number 7. Katherine Heigl, Grey's Anatomy. Katherine Heigl is notoriously a struggle to work with, but her most outrageous stint probably came as a part of what would be known as her exit campaign from Grey's Anatomy. In 2008, Heigl refused to submit herself for Emmy consideration, feeling that the story she'd been given that season wasn't good enough for awards. Heigl had already won that same award the year prior. She left the show in 2010 after failing to show up for filming. This isn't the only high-profile time Heigl has trashed her projects, as she famously slammed her 2007 film Knocked Up, events that Seth Rogen has expressed betrayal towards as recently as 2016. Shonda Rhimes released Heigl from her contract immediately after she failed to show up to set. But Heigl claimed the main reason for her departure was to spend more time with her family. She stated in 2016 that she had apologized to Shonda Rhimes for her behavior and regret her actions, wishing she had just shut up. Since leaving the show, Heigl's career has nosedived. She's rarely seen out of critically panned rom-coms and has certainly not come close to another Emmy. Moral of the story is, you gotta treat people good. Number 6. Andrew Lincoln, The Walking Dead. While he's still got his Rick Grimes movies on the horizon, it seems that Andrew Lincoln's decision to leave The Walking Dead itself was tied to what he believed to be the declining quality of the seasons, an opinion he would very quickly change his mind on. Lincoln left the role halfway through the show's 9th season, but had made his decision prior to the season's production. Echoing many fans' concerns, the show had been on a downward slope in terms of public perception, and he saw it fit to jump ship onto the trilogy of movies that would be less time-consuming so he could spend more time with his family. But Norman Reedus recounted in Entertainment Weekly that once Lincoln saw season 9 and realized the show's story was on a turn for the better, he regretted leaving the show and had picked the wrong time to do so, stating it was, and I quote, "so good right now." Reedus agreed, telling Lincoln, "Yeah, you did, dude. you picked the wrong time. While it's probably some solace to Lincoln that he still has his film trilogy to have a share on the show's new creative direction, it's gotta still feel awful to leave a show you've been the centerpiece of just as it starts to get good again. The moral of the story on this one is don't jump ship too early and be patient. Number 5. Chevy Chase, Saturday Night Live. As one of the original cast members of Saturday Night Live, Chevy Chase was launched into overnight stardom. Surrounded by fresh talent like John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, the not ready for primetime players had the world at their feet. Despite the instant success of the show and the love for its original cast members, Chase chose to leave the show after only one full season, officially departing a short way into season 2. He has stated 2 different reasons as being his sole motivator for departure on separate occasions, but whatever the true reason may be, he regrets his choice. One reason Chase has given was that he felt the show wasn't going anywhere for him career-wise. Another was that he'd fallen in love with a woman in Los Angeles, his second wife, Jacqueline Carlin, and SNL filming in New York would have made his marriage difficult. I kinda get that one. I've got no moral of the story for this one, I'll let you guys put one in the comments. Number 4, Wil Wheaton, Star Trek: The Next Generation. Many know Wil Wheaton from his breakout childhood role as Geordie LeChant in Stand By Me, but to Star Trek fans like myself, he is infinitely known as Wesley Crusher. And hey, if you are a Star Trek fan, come and check us out on Trek Culture for some great Star Trek content. Live long and plug it. While Wesley Crusher wasn't exactly a beloved character due to his bratty personality, it's remained his most iconic role, with his prominent guest roles on The Big Bang Theory capitalizing on this one role and reintroducing him to a wider mainstream audience as a part of cult nerd culture. Ironically, Wheaton left the show when he was 18 to pursue bigger career options in Hollywood, as he felt Crusher was a limiting role. But he told a Comic-Con crowd in 2012 that his behavior post leaving the show was embarrassing. His career never did hit the Hollywood heights he believed it would upon his departure, and has stated that if he was ever asked to return to the Star Trek franchise, he would say yes. Fingers crossed for Star Trek Picard Season 2, you never know. Oh, and moral of the story is don't be a brat. Number 3, McLean Stevenson, MASH. With a show as popular as MASH in the 70s and Emmy nominations under your belt, the desire to leave to pursue bigger options in Hollywood is tempting. McLean Stevenson left the hit show and the character of Henry Blake after only 2 seasons, believing that his stardom would carry him through bigger and better career options. The show's writer confirmed that Stevenson's departure was because he wanted to be number 1 rather than part of an ensemble. Unfortunately, his next few shows, including a self-titled sitcom, bombed hard, and he lamented in 1991 that he made the mistake of believing that people were enamored of McLean Stevenson when the person they were enamored of was Henry Blake. Moral of the story, don't say enamored twice in the same sentence. Number 2, Jason Priestley, Beverly Hills 90210. After being on a show for 9 seasons, it's natural to feel like your character has run its course and it's time to move on. For Jason Priestley, however, the timing was inopportune, as Beverly Hills 90210 only lasted 1 more season after his departure in season 9, stating that he had explored everything he wanted to explore with him. Given how soon after his departure the show fell apart, Priestley believes he should have held on for 1 more season, and in retrospect, he regret leaving. His fear at a damaged relationship with the show's producer also fed into his regrets of leaving, as he worried that Aaron Spelling would resent him for leaving after years of close collaboration. Moral of the story, don't leave your friends in a shit like that. Come on, Jason, it was 1 more season. And number 1, Matt Smith, Doctor Who. Right, before I go on, can I just say on record that Matt Smith played what could have been one of the most interesting characters in Terminator Genesis, but the problem was Terminator Genesis was Terminator Genesis. All right, let me continue. Unlike Christopher Eccleston, Matt Smith would play the Doctor for a total of 3 full seasons and 2 additional special episodes for his final bow. Smith's career really took off after leaving the show, and is probably the Doctor that reached the 2nd highest point in terms of international recognition for his later endeavors, following David Tennant. But even though he left after a good run of seasons and on good terms with everyone involved, he still had regrets about leaving the role behind. Introduced in his final season, Smith's Doctor co-star Jenna Coleman provided a quirky, fun-to-watch relationship between the Time Lord and his companion, Clara Oswald. When asked if he had any regrets about leaving the show, Smith lamented that he did not get a full season to explore that relationship with Coleman, and while he went on to great roles almost immediately after leaving the show, he felt that he had one more season left in him. Clara would stay on as the Doctor's companion for Peter Capaldi's first season, a relationship that was much less well received than her pairing with Smith. Moral of the story, don't leave Doctor Who so soon. And I'm still speaking to Christopher Eccleston here. And that is the list of 8 actors who regretted quitting popular TV shows. Do you think there are any others out there upset at leaving so soon? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to What Culture for more great contents like this. Trust me, you won't regret it. Do you see what I did there? My name is Ori with an A. You can find me on Twitter at Ori Styler. And until next time, take care.